Another major news story this week on RT International: preparations for a referendum in Crimea, the small Black Sea peninsula refusing to recognize the self-proclaimed authorities in Kiev. Its lawmakers now say they want to join Russia, and that will be an option in a referendum held in just a week's time. Next Sunday, people are invited to vote on two questions put forward by the Crimean government. Option number one: Crimea remains part of Ukraine, but gets more autonomy from Kiev. With a separate citizenship, a legal system, a government, even its own flag and anthem, it'll virtually become a separate state. The idea is to shield the peninsula from Kiev's economic encroachments, as well as any possible threats to Russians and other non-Ukrainians. Option number two: Crimea asks Russia to take it in. In that case, it could become an autonomous republic within Russia in a month. That's according to local authorities. One of the perks gained from joining, according to officials, would be an increase in social spending as standards change from Ukrainian to Russian ones. So what are the reasons Crimeans might want such drastic changes? Well, RT's Paula Slier spoke to people on the ground.
Most people here in Crimea want to be a part of the Russian Federation. Latest polls suggest more than 60% will vote yes in the upcoming referendum. And their reasons are simple.
The government in power is not democratic because they had a revolution in an armed way, so that everything it orders is not legal.
The forceful grab of power, violent seizure of government buildings, and nothing short of armed coup. That's how Crimeans see recent events in Kiev. They strongly disagree that those protesting in the capital represented the majority of the country's population and refuse to recognize the current authorities as legitimate.
They are nationalists. You know, they openly say that they are for Bandera, Shukevich. They say that those people are heroes of Ukrainian nation.
But most Ukrainians, as well as Russians and Europeans, view them as Nazi collaborators. The interim Kiev government has 6 ministers, including the deputy prime minister from the ultra-nationalist far-right Svoboda party. One MP from the party has already threatened Russia with nuclear weapons if Moscow does not cease to support the developments in Crimea. And one of the strongest nationalist groups, Right Sector, even has its leader running for president. He's also on an international wanted list for inciting terrorism and has demanded that Kiev provide his fighters with weapons in response to the situation in Crimea.
Their mission is not to promote the Ukrainian language as much as to suppress the Russian language and everything that is not Ukrainian.
97% of Crimeans speak Russian, and the fact that one of the first actions was to strip the Russian language of its official status could not leave people here indifferent. Russian has also disappeared from government websites, and Russian TV channels might soon be banned. There have also been cases of Russian journalists being denied access to the country.
I think it will be better if we join Russia. The prices will be lower and the salaries will be higher.
The partnership deal with the EU was seen as catastrophic here from the onset. Now the West is promising economic aid through the International Monetary Fund. But the assistance comes under the strictest of conditions and has already pushed other countries to the brink of collapse. The referendum is 7 days away. Voters will be asked only 2 questions. But whichever way the people choose, the status of Crimea will inevitably be very different from what it is now. And there are actually many more reasons for people here to want that change. Paula Slier, RT, Simferopol.